Don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in bloody sheets to drop you 6 feet underneath. They put you in a pine wood box and cover you up with dirt and rocks. It all goes well for about a week, and then your coffin begins to leak, and the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the worms play pinochle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose as you begin to decompose. A slimy beetle with demon's eyes chews through your stomach and out your sides. Your stomach turns to rancid grease, and pus pours out like melted cheese. You spread it on a slice of bread, and that's what you'll eat when you're dead. And the worms crawl out, the worms crawl in. The worms that crawl in are lean and thin. The ones that crawl out are fat and stout. Your eyes fall in and your hair falls out. Your brain turns into maggot pie. Your liver starts to liquefy. And for the living all is well as you sink further into hell. And the flames rise up to drag you down into the fire where you will drown. Your skin melts off as you descend, and Satan tears you limb from limb. Your suffering will never end. And the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. They'll eat your guts and then shit them out. And when your bones begin to rot, the worms remain, but you do not. So don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for someday you'll be the one to die. And when death brings his cold despair, ask yourself, will anyone care?
Alright, we're going to be getting started here shortly. Let me jump over. What's going on, guys? How you guys doing tonight? Figure I'd get us started a little bit earlier than usual. But beforehand, let me jump up, say hi to everyone as I normally do. What's going on, Play? What's going on, Ty? What's going on, Paris? Sorry I couldn't wait. I know I'm making you impatient for Trick or Treat Studios. But just make it that much better when you get it. What's going on, Chuck? What's going on, Devin? What's going on, Nicholas? I really like this song with how my setup is. I don't know how you guys feel about this song. Like, do you like it? Do you like it with the whole setup? Or do you prefer the old just instrumentals? Hey, what's going on, Anthony? They put you in a pine wood box and cover you up with dirt and rocks. It all goes well for about a week, and then your coffin begins to leak and the worms crawl in. Just give it a couple of minutes for everybody to get in. Till then, just enjoy the smooth sounds of the music. A slimy beetle with demon's eyes chews through your stomach and out your sides. Your stomach turns rancid. I'm glad you enjoy it. I really like it. It's like something I listen to on a daily basis. And I felt like, you know what? Not getting hit with any kind of copyright with it, so fuck it. Let's use it. Into maggot pie, your liver starts to liquefy, and for the living all is well. Just setting up everything as I go. And the flames rise up to drag you down into the fire where you will drown. Your skin melts off as you descend, and Satan tears you limb from limb. Your suffering will never end, and the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. They'll eat your guts and then shit them out. And when your bones begin to rot, the worms remain, but you do not. So don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by. Just wanted to try to send that out into the group, which have all of you guys joined the Facebook group yet? That song is not. Yeah, I love that. See, this when someone asks me like what my kind of favorite music is, that's something that definitely comes to the forefront. JG Dark is headbanging to non-headbanging music. Hit me, baby, one more time. It's not necessarily my thing, but I mean. What's going on, Bubonic? How you doing? I guess I should also try to drop the link of the group into the chat. Because, I mean, it kind of makes complete and total sense, right? I mean, I would think. There we go. So that way, if you guys have not joined my Facebook group, that's the link to go do so. Hey, what's going on, Ranger? How you doing? So you're doing good, Bubonic. Nice. I'm doing fantastic. I was over here listening to some pretty dark music. Actually, I think I'm going to run that back one more time just because I can't get enough of it for some reason. And then we will start the movie. How about that? Wonder if I can find some more songs like this that necessarily wouldn't hit anybody on the copyright meter.
Don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die.
But meanwhile, while we're waiting, feel free. Go down and hit that like button. Whether you're on Facebook or wherever you want to, make sure you hit those like buttons and keep getting notified of these streams. Oh, guess I should get my my dancing partner. Oh. It's like Abby's worst nightmare. That's right, I brought my doll out for the night stream. Is Abby gonna watch the movie with me? I highly doubt it. Oh, I completely agree, Ty. The guy who plays Dracula in that series he's really good. He almost combines the two of Bela Lugosi and Christopher Lee. Best dance moves ever. And it's such like a simple song too. It's gonna draw you in like Silver Shamrock. That was the goal the whole time, Ty. How'd you know? Fuck. I have to consult Cochran. So you heard part of the song on TikTok. I imagine there's probably every song in existence on TikTok in one form or another. Like, my kids are constantly on TikTok, and there's so much shit that I hear on there that would be somewhat considered obscure, and they just break it down in those, like, little TikTok clips. But that, I'd be interested to see what some people actually do with that. Or they're just, like, doing just random dances to it for the clips. Ooh. Get over. See, I got the snow falling because the snow fucking is outside right now. Like, first real snow of the fucking year here. At least in my area. So I kept the snow on. I'm going to keep it on probably all the way up till after February. That's how you knew, Ty? Oh yeah, Buzz, we're ready for Chucky. Just allowing everybody some time to get in. Yeah, I love the poster too. Like, and I like how much, if you guys have not seen, the trailer for Charles, that is something that you guys definitely need to check out, because that fucking trailer looked awesome. The design of Chucky looked fucking awesome. Looked just like that. Do I have a time machine? I fucking wish. 7.8 out of 10. Too much water. Well, you never know, Cat. Sometimes you just want to look back and go for a swim. I mean, we are in Camp Juicy after all. So, always like just strip them off and just dive in. We have no floaties, no nothing. I mean, granted, that's how he drowned. But still. Like, we have some juicy lifeguards always on watch. But when you dive into the water, you gotta do it with like some theatrical dramatics. You just gotta look at the water and like get ready to dive in. You gotta just rip all that shit off. Don't worry, we'll reimburse you for the clothes. So you need to go 2 months into the future and then come back. Oh man, and that's assuming that they actually hit that release date, Paris. Because I know with dealing with Trick or Treat Studios, if anything, they do have some issues with release dates and how they go about sending out orders. Which is why I order directly from like a third party like Nightmare Toys and stuff like that. Especially when it comes to masks, props, or anything like that. Because I got my Michael Myers knife, my 78 knife, my 78 mask, and a bunch of other shit way before anybody was really getting them through the Trick or Treat Studios website. I mean, it's always good to get it directly from the manufacturer, but with the way they kind of ship things out, I always prefer going through like a third party. So if you order directly from them and not another party, you may be waiting more than 2 months. So I mean, I don't want to dishearten you, but I also don't want you to get super excited to just hit another low if that does get delayed for you. The water would be freezing cold. I mean, I'm just going to say nipples. Am I doing okay after suffering my way through Leatherface? I'm doing a lot better. Doing a whole lot better. I mean, that might have been one of the issues where my headache came from yesterday. So, I mean, like it's not here today, so I'm doing much, much better. Okay, I just ripped my shirt off. Yeah, just like tear that shit off and just dive in. Hey, what's going on, Dark Super? How you doing? Waving back. Like if it does somebody dying. I'm just saying. I actually tested. I mean, granted, it was only one test, and because of the outcome, I've stuck with Nightmare Toys throughout. I ordered my 2018 Michael Myers mask way back when it was supposed to come out, and I ordered the first one through Trick or Treat Studios. Then I realized that Nightmare Toys got their shipment in, so I ordered one through them. I got my mask from them immediately. 2 weeks, I believe it was, before I got my one from Nightmare Toys. So I repainted that mask, ended up selling it. And then I was like, you know what? Fuck it. These masks are going like fucking crazy, and I can definitely make my money back on them. So what I ended up doing before Nightmare Toys sold out, I bought 2 more from Nightmare Toys before I got my one from Trick or Treat Studios. So pretty much, I ended up selling the other ones. I kept the one, which is the one I have now, which was the best paint job out of all of them, because all I had to do was darken the lips. But it just gives you a sense of how they ship things out. And then I saw that again after the 78 mask release, where I saw a lot of people were still waiting, that pre-ordered way, way, way before I ever ordered mine through Nightmare Toys. And I think it was literally, like, when Nightmare Toys said they had them in stock, I ordered it and it was shipped to my house. I ordered on a Friday, got it on Monday. There were people that ordered
like 6 months before, like when the first pre-orders came out, and they still didn't get their mask. So that's what kept me away from ordering directly from Trick or Treat Studios. Oh yeah, I know that, Buzz. I gotta do it for you guys. I have to put myself through the torture. There was an extra cost from Nightmare Toys, really? Because I think normally when it's over $100, it's free shipping. So I'm not sure if that, how much of an extra cost there would have been thrown. Because I think when I looked on the site for all of their Chucky doll replicas, they were on par with Trick or Treat Studios. And then I saw some other places that were selling them for like $50 extra. But I mean, when you're already paying as much as you are, if it's free shipping, I say go for it. Especially if it's from a place that you know you get your shit early. Like my Pinhead that should be coming, which I'll be doing an unboxing of that. I will refrain from opening Pinhead without being on camera. I will be on camera for that one. I don't know if it's going to be in a live stream or if it's going to be an actual video. Probably a live stream. We'll see. But once I get Pinhead, I believe NECA released something, said it was supposed to be at like the 27th. Yeah, 27th, I believe. So if they're releasing that the 27th, the moment that Nightmare Toys gets it, it's being shipped right out to me. And normally they get that early. Guess you gotta hold on to hope. I mean, at this point, that's all you can kind of do. Like, I mean, you're gonna get your doll one way or another. That's without a doubt. But it's just like, it's going to be frustrating if you start looking online and you start seeing all these other people getting their dolls from other third-party places like Nightmare Toys, like a couple other places.
Oh no.
And pretty much if you're looking at those reviews, then you're going to start getting antsy because you haven't gotten yours yet.
Get that
What?
thing away.
He wants to be your friend to the end. Come, Abby.
No.
Come on.
No.
You don't want to play?
No, I don't.
Heidi ho. Ha ha
Stop. Stop. What are you watching?
Get ready to watch Child's Play.
Oh.
See, guys, I told you she was lurking.
Shut up.
Who you call a pinhead? Nobody, cat. Nobody. Meow. What if Freddy grabbed Chucky? Freddy was able to grab Chucky. We did go over this in a couple of streams before. With Chucky's new power now from Cult of Chucky. Or is it? It's Cult of Chucky, isn't it? Yeah, that was the last one. It was Curse and Cult. Chucky is able to possess practically anything. That doesn't mean that he cannot possess Freddy. Whether it's in the dream world or in the real world. Like, we don't know the limitation of Chucky's new power. We just know he can duplicate his consciousness into other dolls and people as well. I think she ran off. It is the power of Dimbala that scared her away. Alright, we're about what? 26 minutes in to the stream? Fuck it, let's get into the movie. Assuming you guys all have your copies at the ready. Gotta Excuse me. Let me turn that off so that way there is no issue. All right. Now, for anybody that's just joining that had not been in one of these before, I will reiterate once again for everyone, just for convenience. The way this works is I will not have the movie on screen. The way this works is it's designed for you to be watching your copy of the movie. So I will give a countdown. Assuming you have your movie at the ready, I will give a countdown from 5 down to 0, or down to 1 rather. And then I'll say play, you'll hit play, we'll watch the movie together, and hopefully if I make a comment on something on the stream, it should match up with your copy. Although now knowing with me and Paris' stream, there may be a delay, maybe 1 or 2, at least on my end. So I mean, it's not real time, but given the countdown, it should match up with you. Either way. Hey, what's going on, Hardboy? What's going on, Alphonse? How you doing? Am I looking forward to seeing the fan-made movie, Charles? Yes, I am. Greatly.
No, I'm sorry.
Hey, man, you keep messing around.
Stop.
You're going to find him in bed with you.
No, I'm not.
You might.
No, I'm not.
You might.
No, I'm not.
Hold on, one moment. Come on, Abby.
No,
Give him a hug.
no.
Give him a hug.
No, I swear, bring it near me and I'm gonna hurt you. Stop, for real, stop.
But Abby,
Stop.
Chucky needs love too.
No, he does not.
Why doesn't he?
Because. Stop.
I will give you 5 seconds to escape.
Okay, hold on.
1, 2. Well, you can't see it, but at least you got to hear that one. Oh my god. I wish I'd had enough time to grab him, Paris. Alright.
You hurt my arms and knees.
Well, you're trespassing.
No.
Alright, get.
Fine.
Got your Mezco Chucky doll at the ready. Nice. Prepare while she's gone. Oh, man. Oh, shit. Where's my... Okay, there we go. We're set. We're good. We're going. We're golden. Blow that up a little bit so I can actually see the movie. And we will now begin. Oddly enough, directly at the 30-minute mark. And we start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Fucking 80s MGM logo. United Artists. Is it? Is that Chuck Norris's son's name? Wonder if they ever drew that that coincidence. Hey, Garrett, how you doing? You shoot him in the back. I love Brad Dourif's voice. Try to fix that a little bit. So, I mean, you wonder what else would Chucky have learned voodoo-wise? Because, I mean, from all the sequels up until Cult of Chucky, we've only known of the body switch, like, transfer. And he uses Bishop's voodoo doll against him on here. You saw Child's Play on vinyl, FYE, this afternoon. Did you pick it up or just like happen to come across it? I thought I remembered you saying something about that, Paris, with the scarred Curse of Chucky doll. Right, man, he looks pissed. The guy who played Roger Rabbit was going to be the original voice of Chucky? I didn't know that. Be Abby's worst nightmare. An entire aisle full of Chucky dolls. But yes, Abby, come play with us. Come, Abby, come play. He just wants to be your friend. Hey, what's going on, Machete? That's some stray hairs. I just gotta get something to like really like permanently try to move the hair out the way. Cause it keeps like wanting to do that. Like, really? He played Howard the Duck, too? I'm surprised they don't use that whole, Surprised they don't use that more often now. It seems like they kind of want to shy away from using like little people, midgets, or whatever you want to say, like to play like doll kind of roles. You're good, Machete? Awesome. Awesome. Emo Chucky. Yeah, I mean he's going through a stage. He kind of does, doesn't he, Buzz? But why, Abby? He just wants to. He just wants a hug. It's not a phase, Mom. God. Alright, you get over there, Chucky. You're my guard dog. Oh man, I'd kill my kid for all that. I mean, the sentiment is nice, but it's like, holy shit, man. Trying to put me in a diabetic coma and give me fucking tons of fucking cholesterol with like a giant fucking half of butter on a piece of toast. Hey, what's going on, Ghost? How you doing? We are about 8.5 minutes into the movie, and we scared the shit out of Abby. So we're actually doing quite well so far. I find it amazing that, granted, he spilled a ton of that shit, but I'm surprised he did not drop that cup off that tray. Oh, 6:30 in the morning, man. Especially if I have to work. Oh, man. And make me question some life choices. And that ain't toast, that's fucking charcoal. Chucky looks like he's going to make a sandwich. Pretty much, because aren't they in, like, Chicago or something, too? Like, someplace in Illinois, Buzz? So I would imagine it would still be, if the sun's rising, it's not that fucking bright. The corn is real. The corn is evil. Shit, man. Even if it wasn't, if it was like a bootleg, that shit is like, it's close enough. Fuck it. That thing's not worth $30. You hear that, Paris? The Chucky doll is not worth $30. Like, play that scene for Trick or Treat Studios. Or anybody making a Chucky doll. Like, not quite Hanfield, but Michael stops by once in a while. I think with Colt, I actually liked Colt in the same vein of maybe like Bride of Chucky and stuff like that. Curse of Chucky, I felt like was definitely a return to form. But I wouldn't necessarily put Colt up there with Seed. Seed is by far the worst of the series to me. Colt is good and does introduce some new elements, but is still kind of jarring at times with how they do things. But still entertaining and kept within the overall lore, which I liked. Like, I actually felt like if we were going to bring Tiffany back in, they did right by her by making her more of the serial killer and stuff like that. And then it's kind of dark when you think about what they did with the little girl from Curse. Oh, the remake. Now, the thing is, the remake as a Chucky movie fails. Utterly. Completely. As a Child's Play movie. If you were to put a different name on the doll and call the movie something else, I'd say you probably got a franchise on your hands. Because the movie's interesting. The movie's entertaining. It has gore. It has a interesting concept. But when you start slapping Chucky on it and Child's Play, those licenses, that's where you lose people. Because there's no voodoo involved. There's no psychotic serial killer that is possessing a doll. It's all artificial intelligence. So you kind of stripped away everything that made Chucky Chucky. Just like Black Christmas, complete when it... Exactly. Except with the concept of the remake for Child's Play, it actually worked better. Because they had a much more interesting concept with the killer doll kind of thing. But Black Christmas, it took it from being a slasher movie, like one of the first slasher movies, to turning it into something completely different. I'm not gonna disagree with you, Play. Like, everyone's taste in movies, like I said before, is subjective. So I mean, just because Bride of Chucky is your like in your top 3, doesn't mean you're wrong. Doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean anything. It just means that's your top 3. There is no right or wrong on that. Because I mean, who am I to tell you what your favorite movie should be, especially in a series? Which I can understand that, Alphonse. But I also just equated a lot of that due to the budgetary constraints and being the first Chucky movie going straight to DVD. But when you put Curse of Chucky up in comparison to Bride and Seed, it's actually a smaller budget, but in my opinion, better than both of those. Like, to me, Curse of Chucky was the best Chucky movie since Child's Play 2. Puppies are going crazy. They always are. They just want attention. Hopefully they don't remake Reanimator. I mean, at some point they probably will. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with remakes and reboots. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just pretty much when you do one, you walk a very, very fine line. And what most remakes stem from is ultimately someone will come up with an idea. And it'd be interesting, like, take Child's Play, for instance, the robot doll idea. I guarantee someone was in a studio somewhere working for MGM and probably was like, I got this idea of a killer doll. Artificial intelligence, it starts learning and goes on a killing spree. And someone's like, that kind of reminds me of Chucky. But the concept didn't fully convince them that they were going to make any of their money back. So what they did, they found out they owned the rights to the first Child's Play, slapped the Child's Play name on it, probably changed the name of the doll from Buddy, from what we see in the movie. They're the Buddy dolls. They probably called him Buddy. They probably changed the name of Buddy and called him Chucky in order to reap much more of a profit. And that's what happens with a lot of remakes. That's what even happened to a lot of sequels in the Hellraiser series. They had a great story idea, but ultimately the studio had no faith in it, so they kept it low budget, and in order to gain interest, they just slapped the marketable name like Hellraiser on it, and threw Pinhead in there for a couple of scenes. Mark Hamill's Chucky versus Toulon's Puppets. I would go with Toulon's Puppets. They're a little bit more battle-tested, and I think with their strategic output amongst each other, they would probably overpower Chucky. Or Mark Hamill's Chucky, I should say. Especially because with that, you would probably only need Tunneler and Pinhead to really fight Mark Hamill's Chucky. I don't think you would really need Blade in that particular instance. I think with that, Nicholas, if they were to do that scene, it's likely would be heavily implied but never shown. That or they're going for a really hard R rating and then they'll just throw it in there. Brad Dourif's Chucky versus Mark Hamill's Chucky. It'd be Brad Dourif's. If not for anything else. Because, I mean, if it's a head-up fight, one versus the other, I would still go with Brad Dourif. But then you also have to factor in the Curse of Chucky, or Cult of Chucky, power. if he can possess anything, like other dolls on top of human beings, he can most certainly possess the Mark Hamill Chucky doll. And if he can possess that doll, imagine what the actual Chucky could do in that doll's body. Now the question is, with that doll being connected to all things fucking internet and all that shit, or what's all made by the same company that makes the doll, the caveat of Chucky taking possession of something, at least as far as we know, is the doll starts becoming flesh and blood. He's becoming human within the doll. So would that take away his access to other devices if that happens and he was to possess Mark Hamill's Chucky? Brad Dourif always. I mean, at least from like a logical standpoint and knowing the powers and abilities of both. Because I could see the Mark Hamill version of Chucky looking at Brad Dourif's Chucky and trying to take control of him, thinking he's a doll like him to be controlled, like he did in the toy store. But that would give Brad Dourif's Chucky a huge opening to attack. Top 3 least favorite Child's Play films are 3, Seed of Chucky, 2, Child's Play Reboot, and 1, Child's Play 3. Child's Play 3 is your least favorite? Ooh. She hit hard. Random. Jedi versus Immortal from Highlander. I would probably go with the Jedi. Because, I mean, the Jedi can essentially force lift you and keep you at bay. The Immortal will never get close to him. And if he does, I'm fairly certain the steel from their sword cannot withstand the heat of a lightsaber. So the Immortal would be at a huge disadvantage. You're an abomination. I mean, I wouldn't go that far with the remake. I just think it stands in that thing, like I said, like if you'd have called it something else, called the doll something else, you'd have a pretty good franchise on your hands with the killer doll genre. Elvira should play Tiffany in the reboot of the series. I wouldn't go that far with it. I mean, the woman that plays Elvira, like, she still looks good. Looks really good. But as long as Jennifer Tilly's willing to fill in the role of Tiffany, I wouldn't recast her. Let alone with someone older. If I was going to bring Elvira in, I'd bring her in as a completely different character. Oh, I didn't know that. But then again, I never watched Seventh Heaven, Nicholas. So I had no idea. 1, the reboot. 2, the reboot. 3, the reboot. Heath Ledger's Joker versus Joaquin Phoenix Joker. Now that I've seen both movies, I mean, I saw a Joker a while back, but actually rewatching it and seeing Heath Ledger and him side by side, being able to rewatch it like that, I would go Joaquin Phoenix's Joker. Now, Heath Ledger's Joker instilled citywide panic and fear, like the Joker does in the comics, but Joaquin Phoenix's Joker had me believing this is a very, 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 very possible origin for the character that we know to become the Joker. What are top 5 least favorite films of 2019? I was thinking of doing a list or something like that, but I honestly haven't had time to really break down what movies I've watched that came out in 2019 as far as being my favorite and least favorite. You're an abomination, an outrage against nature. Elvira is royally juicy. Oh yeah. Without a doubt. Not exactly. A Sith move would be doing it out of anger. In this particular case, it's self-defense. I mean, if it wasn't called Child's Play, it did stand a chance of being called a Child's Play ripoff, but we'd never know. Like, because like I said, the movie would have probably been able to stand on its own. And I mean, the only real knock against the movie, if you strip away everything from the original Child's Play that they tried to incorporate into that, if you strip away Chucky, the look, and all that, the only real knock against it is the look of the doll. The look of the doll looks very off. If you were able to fix that and pretty much make your own original design of the doll, you'd be good. I think the movie, it probably wouldn't have made as much money, but I think it would have got a lot more positive feedback from both fans and maybe not so much critics, but more so fans. So it's like, I mean, it's a little hammer. Now, is that like solid plastic or is that like an actual fucking hammer? Don't worry, Fiend. You'll be alright. And there's nothing to worry about yet. You got many years ahead of you. I mean, she can see him sitting right over there. Jedi versus Wizard from Harry Potter. I mean, I feel like the wizards kind of have a bit of an edge because they have magic of all types. But you never know what the full extent of what a Jedi can do. Cloverfield Monster versus Alien Newborn. I'd kind of want to go with the Cloverfield Monster. Just on size alone. Yeah, imagine the way they're whipping him around like that if Chucky just turned around like, bitch, you gave me whiplash. Said, if I could pick a dream director back in the day to direct a Friday the 13th movie, who would it be? Somebody who did not get a chance to direct one. Let me think. I mean, the first thing that popped into my head was Wes Craven. I'd love to see what he would do with it. Just knowing what he was able to do with films like The Hills Have Eyes and fucking Last House on the Left. I'd love to see what he would be able to do with an established Jason. I mean, I thought maybe John Carpenter, but also at the same time, he also did Halloween. So I would assume that him writing and directing, because he'd probably write the script. If he was to write a Friday the 13th movie, it would, just in his mind, probably dribble out as another Halloween. So I think Wes Craven would probably be my pick. Because, I mean, there's other directors out there that I'm, like, thinking, like, what if Clive Barker did a Friday the 13th movie? But then I was like, that's too cerebral. That's going way too complicated for some of the things that he does. John Carpenter scored part 13. As much as I would like that, I personally would want Harry Manfredini back. When Harry Manfredini is not involved with the score, I feel like the Friday the 13th films suffer greatly. And he's a lifelong associated with Friday the 13th. So to me, he kind of needs to be there. I think in that particular situation play, I would probably go with the Alien Queen. Because the acid blood is the game changer. Lucio Fulci, Friday the 13th, it'd be interesting. I mean, not exactly the person I would think of with doing a Friday the 13th movie, but still interesting. My thing would be, like, with Wes Craven, like, what if you allowed him to write his own script for a Friday the 13th movie? And he did something where Jason wasn't even involved, kind of like Part 5. And he was able to incorporate the murder mystery aspect that was in the first film all over again. Knowing what he was able to do with Scream and actually give him full control of his story. It can loosely connect to Jason's story in some kind of way, but just imagine what Wes could have did with that. I still think with that play, the Alien Queen has a distinct advantage with the acid blood. Holy shit, man. Chucky's fast as shit. Yeah, I like that too. The scar, like when the pendulum comes down and chops off the flesh off half of Chucky's face. I wish he would have had more scenes like that. But I think the most haunting Chucky has ever looked in this series is at the end of this one, where he's all burnt up and he's like slowly walking with the knife in his hand. That was fucking haunting. That's true play. He did get sprayed with acid, but also we don't know how corrosive its acid, like that acid, was. We know with the alien acid that's like really designed, like really fucking strong acid. So we don't know how Godzilla's skin would really hold up to that. This guy is really creepy as Dracula in the Netflix show. Yeah, he is. He, like I said, like he comes off as a mixture between Christopher Lee and Bela Lugosi. And also, if you watch the TV show Lucifer, he kind of really has that kind of flavor to him as well. But how are you liking it so far, Ty? Did you see what I mean about how Van Helsing fits into it? What if Netflix made shows for other Universal monsters? I'd fucking be there. I'd be all for it. To be honest, Ty, if that's what they wanted, I'd probably just dig deep into all of his movies. Just to get a style, like a sense of his style and how I would want to do it. Not just zombie, because it's going to be the one thing everyone goes to. I would probably have to consume a lot of his artwork. I guess you could say. The newborn did kill the alien queen, but you also have to remember the newborn didn't have to worry about the acid at all. Which, granted, the way the alien queen got killed, the acid pouring from her head should have been enough to eat through that ship's hull and really destroy the ship further. If all the Universal monsters fought, I would probably have to go with Dracula. I mean, it's like the obvious choice, but I would probably have to go with Dracula. Just the fact that he made eye contact with her when he said that kind of was like a little off, like unsettling. Like, say something, damn it. I like to be hugged. Yeah, I was a little thrown off, Ty, when I was watching it, and then I saw where it started deviating from the books more and more and more. And then once I realized, like, wait a minute, this is just a completely different telling. Like, the characters that I know of from the book don't really exist here in the same way. And once I was able to divorce myself from the books and really take in these characters and how they fit, I enjoyed it a whole lot more. I'm not sure, Play. I feel like with the Cloverfield monster, if a facehugger probably tried to impregnate it, it would likely have to be eaten by it in order to let it gestate. And then once it dissolved, it probably would be dissolved into the sort of black goo substance from Prometheus and would probably gestate that way. You wonder if Chucky could feel that. Like pulling the battery part out. Because if he's becoming human, what happens with that? I've never realized or thought about that. Like if you allowed this Chucky to become fully human, does he just have like a hole in his back where the batteries are supposed to be? And it just becomes a fleshy hole? Shit, man, look at Chucky's hair. Shit, Chucky done went Super Saiyan, Broly. Just like giving her a profane laced fucking lashing. Please never say fleshy hole again. But I'm saying, Kat, if it's a hole and it's flesh, is it not a fleshy hole? I mean, do the springs stay in there? Is that going to be like a piercing? Which, Ty, have you ever seen Penny Dreadful? I definitely recommend that for you if you haven't seen it. Where that sort of combines a lot of elements of the Universal Monster universe. Hey, Sebastian, how you doing? Chucky the TV series. Haven't heard any news about the Chucky TV series yet. Hopefully you guys can enlighten me, because I haven't heard anything. I don't know when it's going to release. I don't know pretty much anything about it aside from when it was announced. Fleshy hole just don't sound right, bro. I mean, I'm almost tempted to just use that as the term when I'm playing Dead by Daylight and I'm going against the Demogorgon. When he's going into the portals and shit. Or most people call them buttholes. I'm just going to call them fleshy holes. Like he's going into the fleshy hole. He's coming out the other end. Oh, that's a nasty fucking bite. The monster from the mist versus the alien queen. I'm not sure. Because I haven't read the Mist book, so I don't know what it all can do. So it'd be very disingenuous if I try to say one thing could beat the other in that kind of regard. And if you think about it, how can Chucky move his arms and legs if he doesn't have bones? I mean, it never says that he doesn't have a wire skeleton inside of him. Sort of like a wire, like for his arms and everything to be in certain positions. Although when they pick him up, it looks like he's a fucking pillow. But I think the moment he started possessing the doll, it's likely that pretty much he started becoming human. So likely bones probably formed to some extent inside of the doll. Child's Play 2 remake? I mean, it's possible. Because, I mean, the movie made money. So it's always possible. It just depends on if there's buzz for it or not. If there's a buzz for it and they know they can make more money off of it, then I think the possibility rises even further. But I think most people right now are more excited for the TV show whenever that comes. The only thing I'm worried about with the TV show is that they're not going for a Hulu, Amazon, or Netflix kind of outlet for it. They're going for like sci-fi and shit like that. How do they know if he's a cop when all he did was take out a gun? I mean, do they know him? Please, no fleshy holes. I think so, Ty. I think the Frankenstein monster was supposed to be pretty fucking tall. Do I think the Invisible Man 2020 can save the remakes of the Universal monsters? Probably not in the way that they think. Because the Invisible Man works in the present day because it's not oriented to the time frame of when the original story was created. So you could do an Invisible Man in present day. Trying to do a Mummy movie in present day, I don't think really works. Trying to do a Dracula in present day works on a small scale, but nowhere near the way it does in the 1800s. You want Brad Dourif to be the voice actor? I believe he is. In the TV show, it is going to be Brad Dourif coming back. And Don Mancini. I mean, I enjoyed Child's Play 3 Horrorboy. I enjoy it, but I don't enjoy it more than I did this and Part 2 in Curse. It's around the time when the sequels got kind of bland a little bit. I mean, there's some great moments in there, but ultimately for me it came off a little flat. What about a Jason movie in present day? It could work, but it's a little bit harder to make it believable just with today's technology. Any kind of slasher movie that happened in the 80s makes it a lot harder to do in present day just because of the current technology. If you've seen one Dracula movie, you've seen them all. For the most part, yes, that's true. However, there is a what's one thing I'd probably say with that. With Dracula, they very much like condense a lot of what happens in the books and the vampire lore. And a lot of the information we get, we could piece together, now with all forms of media of Dracula, especially the now new Netflix show, we can piece together what happens in the book just from bits and pieces of every movie or TV show that now has had Dracula in it. Which I still maintain that Bram Stoker's Dracula is the closest adaptation to the book that we've gotten. I just wish it would go to a series and really adapt the book. Full on from beginning to end. And that would freak me the fuck out. Like, especially if you're able to see the doll. Not to mention driving. The whole driving area would, like, fuck me up. Well, at that point, I'm stopping the fucking car. Like, the moment I burn him, it feels like he's accelerating. I mean, Friday the 13th remake was pretty decent. It was a decent attempt. It just didn't feel like Friday the 13th to me. There was some elements missing in that movie. Like, I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's some ingredients that they needed to really bring that home. I mean, yeah, you could go with that. Like, there's no cell phone reception at Camp Crystal Lake or anything like that. That's true, you can. But I also feel like there's no way you're getting away with no internet connection there. Especially if the camp is made for children. There's going to be some online way, if you're doing present day, there's going to be some online interactive way with technology that is going to allow you to either call the police, get in touch with someone almost in real time. I mean, yeah, typically, yeah, Hardboy. The formula usually is someone goes to the Dracula's castle, Dracula either makes him his slave, tortures him, or whatever the fuck. And then he comes to England and goes after people. The book, however, he has a reason of why he's going to England. And it doesn't involve Jonathan Harker, Mina, Dr. Seward. It doesn't involve really any of them. They put themselves in Dracula's crosshairs for his overall plan. And like his overall plan in the book is ultimately world domination. There hasn't been any kind of special features or anything for Child's Play 3? That seems odd. Because it's definitely not bad enough to ignore. I would never say that. Like, considering we got, like, Seed of Chucky, there's no way Child's Play 3 should be ignored. Oh, yeah, Friday the 13th reboot was definitely fucking juicy. It was the originator of juicy. Andy Barclay's coming back. Yep, I know. They're bringing back pretty much everybody for the TV show. Find Jason from the remake scarier than the original. I mean, that was kind of by design, though. He was to be more feral, more fucking volatile, smarter, as, like, setting traps and everything. So, yeah, I can definitely see your point. He's definitely scarier than he was in the original. But if I had to pick whether going against Jason from Part 4 or the remake Jason, I would probably choose the remake Jason over Part 4. I wouldn't want to fuck with the Part 4 Jason. Like, I'm not fucking with someone that's walking through doors like they're made of paper. And then on top of that, you throw a hammer so hard into a wall. Not only do you make a hole, but the fucking hammer stays stuck in the wall for a little bit. And not even like lodged in. It's just like you hit something on the thing and it's like not latched on anything and it's just staying there vibrating. That's how hard you throw something. Yeah, that make me drop some shit too. The book is really good, Horrorboy. The Dracula book, like I said, the book is almost like the grandfather of found footage films. Because the way the book reads is it's all done through journal entries, newspaper clippings, and interviews with people that have been written down. Like, that's the way the Dracula book reads. Like, it's not exactly written like a typical novel. Now, the workaround, Ty, thinking about the whole internet and phone issue with doing a Jason in the present day, let's say we do Ghost Jason. And Ghost Jason being a spirit and not really corporeal, unless he wants to be. What if Jason's mere appearance fucks with electronics? Like we've seen in so many other ghost forms of media. And when the death curse really, really, really starts rolling, every form of technology starts malfunctioning, if not shorts completely out. Want to hear a joke? Hellraiser 8. Hellraiser 8, which one? Is that Revelations? So I feel like with him stabbing the voodoo doll, it should be much more of a gaping hole, like going across his chest. A gaping fleshy hole. Sorry, Alphonse, I had to do it. Sorry, Kat, I had to do it as well. Sorry, everyone, I had to do it. Oh, you saw that, Ty? My leather-bound copy of Dracula. Yeah, I saw Darth Vader versus Master Chief. I mean, I haven't really played Halo, so I'm not entirely sure. Oh, Hellworld. Hellworld is fucking... Yeah, that's terrible, Cat. You'll sue me for making you lose your sanity. Just see you like in a corner. Fleshy holes. There's fleshy holes everywhere. Why did Nosferatu run into copyright issues? Did it? Because I know the original Nosferatu was done because they didn't own the copyrights to Dracula. I think, if anything, it may have ran into copyright issues because of how similar the story was. That's actually kind of heartbreaking, seeing him like that. Like little Andy crying like that. It was like a hell of a little scene with him there. Could Savini Jason fuck with electronics? He could. That's a very strong possibility. He is extremely supernatural. But like I said, we've never seen him live action, so we don't know exactly what he could do. If I die and become a ghost, is it okay to haunt your house forever? I mean, you got to find a way to pay rent one way or the other. Death is no excuse for not paying bills. There will be no freeloading, even in the afterlife. Like, Andy looks so small. I didn't realize how small he actually looked until, like, watching this. Chucky's always rolling under shit. Like, I will not drive you crazy like The Shining. You say that now, Devin, until you're actually here. Oh no, I start putting out fleshy hole shirts, Ty. I might be attracting a whole different crowd here on YouTube. Oh, I mentioned it. I thought I had like a picture up on one of my things like Facebook or Instagram. Yeah, it definitely does. Like, the way, like, they kind of set up the whole aspect of voodoo on earbuds, like, really makes, like, I wonder why they never really dove more into it, aside from the body switching. Jack Torrance versus Ash, I would probably have to go with Ash. Fleshy Hole needs to be banned. But everyone's got one, Cat. You can't ban something something everyone has. I mean, Fleshy Hole is life. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Fuck, how old was she at that time? I love that part. And she's like ugly doll, and he just like goes up in the elevator like, fuck you. If I say fleshy hole one more time, I won't be able to sleep tonight. So I can't say fleshy hole anymore, Cat? I mean, I can't say fleshy hole one more time. But all the other times I said fleshy hole was okay. Up until I would say fleshy hole one more time. But I mean, I don't want to deprive you of sleep, so I won't say fleshy hole anymore unless fleshy hole comes up in a conversation. Then I'll be saying fleshy hole a whole lot more. But I'm going to let the whole term of fleshy hole just go about until I'm gonna stop. I'm like losing myself as I'm trying to do it. What horror villain creature would Pumpkinhead be able to beat? A lot of them. Because, I mean, the thing with Pumpkinhead would be essentially like you would have to kill his connection. Like whoever summoned him. So if he's fighting against someone that doesn't know he has that connection and doesn't know to kill that connection in order to defeat Pumpkinhead, there's literally no way Pumpkinhead could really lose. No more beep holes. Like you want to haunt Ghost Abbey? Fucking gave that kid a concussion. Fleshy hole is a no-no word. Fleshy hole times infinity. What's your thoughts on the remake, and are you excited for a new franchise? Remake of what, our boy? Child's Play? So, fleshy hole is a no-no word. Don't say fleshy hole, okay? I got that. Don't say fleshy hole. You don't have Facebook or Instagram, Ty. Oh, man, that's a tough way to go, especially if you're trying to do a YouTube channel. Like with that, you need as many places to kind of share your stuff as possible. And like Facebook is really a great place to do that. Moist is just as bad as fleshy. What about a moist, fleshy hole? How does that grab you? Did I ruin the moist word for you, Kat? So what I think about the remake? The remake, I think, would have been really good if it was called something else. But knowing that it's supposed to be Child's Play, and it's supposed to have the doll in it is supposed to be Chucky, kind of took me out of it to an extent, because the whole time I'm thinking that's not Chucky. This is not Child's Play. But if you'd have called it something else and called the doll Buddy, I think it would have been a hell of a franchise on its own. Like, it was one of those movies that you can tell, like I said before, like where they had a concept and the studio had no faith in it to make money off of it, so they slapped on a familiar name in order to try to make as much as they can. Why else would a studio try to remake a movie to a franchise that's still going? Ooh. Catch a bat in the face like that, you're like fucking... There should be a whole lot more damage than what he has. God. That's essentially what Abby looks like when she's hungry. Juicy. Moist, juicy, fleshy hole. Someone commented fleshy hole on one of your videos? I just happened to see Oh my god. He's like, why? He's like, because cat. Because. Oh my god. That would kind of have me screaming throughout the house. Chucky's gone! God damn it! Oh, here it is. Yeah, that's fucking haunting. Like, that scene alone is fucking haunting. You blame me for the comment? I take no responsibility, Cat. Like, none at all. But it did make me laugh, though. Ooh. I would imagine blood like spurting out of his neck and everything like that to really sell like him becoming human. Like, I mean, how much more damage can it actually do though? Like one arm, one leg, no head. Oh no, I have like no doubt about like word of mouth, but definitely when you're starting up, unless you can catch fire very very quickly, having a Instagram, having a Facebook, and many other outlets to share your media onto definitely helps to build a audience. Like, the only problem I kind of face is my Instagram is more built towards my cosplay stuff, and my YouTube is more based on a lot of my horror stuff that I do. And trying to mix those two together isn't exactly the easiest. They should have renamed Child's Play remake Fleshy Hole. I guarantee that theater would probably be packed with an entirely different audience. Like, it would probably smell like leather and used condoms. I mean, with the way Chucky's hand looks with, like, the metal rods coming out of the fingers, would have been a nice touch if when he was, like, choking him, that the fingers actually dug into the throat and killed him. I mean, is Chucky, like, able to control his body through voice commands? Thought Chucky flipped him off there for a second. It was just the one finger. Yeah, that's pretty fucking creepy. I'm not gonna lie. Like the changing of the voice from Brad Dourif to the actual doll. Do I prefer this one or Child's Play 2? I'd probably say I prefer a little bit, I mean, it could go back and forth. I like them both equally. Because there's things that I love about both of them that I really couldn't put one over the other. Oh shit, that went by fast. Well, that was Child's Play. That's a nice little fun commentary to do. So you already forced yourself to watch Seed of Chucky? I'll be there eventually myself. Fucking Seed of Chucky at some point. Good God. Oh man, but yeah, that was Child's Play. That was nice. I mean, it's always good to do these commentaries and watch a movie that I have not seen in fucking forever. And that's one of them. Like, actually sat and watched through. I mean, I've watched bits and pieces of it just to scare Abby, but it's been a while since I've watched it all the way through. Had a good time, Chuck? I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad everybody, like, stuck it out with me. Hashtag fleshy hole. We're going to get that trending as much as we can. Hashtag fleshy hole. Oh my God. But yeah, that'd be pretty much it for me tonight. Nice little early commentary stream. Sunday, we will be back with Child's Play 2. Then Monday, back on Dead by Daylight. And then Tuesday, Child's Play 3. But with that being said, I want to thank all you guys for hanging out with me, watching Child's Play, and want to apologize to Kat for all the fleshy hole comments. I will try to refrain as much as I can from fleshy holes as much as I possibly can, but fleshy holes are everywhere. I mean, you never know when your finger just might get jammed here or there, or you slip, fall into a fleshy hole. You never know. You never know. These things happen. They're everywhere. But yeah, I'm gonna head out. Thank you all you guys for watching the movie with me. I hope you guys have a good night, and I'll see you guys come Sunday. And as always, I am JG Dark, and thanks for watching. Get your finger out of my fleshy
Don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in bloody sheets to drop you 6 feet underneath. They put you in a pine wood box and cover you up with dirt and rocks. It all goes well for about a week, and then your coffin begins to leak, and the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the worms play pinochle on your snout. They eat your eyes, they eat your nose, grows as you begin to decompose. A slimy beetle with demon's eyes chews through your stomach and out your sides. Your stomach turns to rancid grease, and pus pours out like melted cheese. You spread it on a slice of bread, and that's what you'll eat when you're dead. And the worms crawl out, the worms crawl in. The worms that crawl in are lean and thin. The ones that crawl out are fat and stout. Your eyes fall in and your hair falls out. Your brain turns into maggot pie. Your liver starts to liquefy. And for the living all is well as you sink further into hell. And the flames rise up to drag you down into the fire where you will drown. Your skin melts off as you descend, and Satan tears you limb from limb. Your suffering will never end. And the worms crawl in, the worms crawl out. They'll eat your guts and then shit them out. And when your bones begin to rot, the worms remain, but you do not. So don't ever laugh as a hearse goes by, for some